My name is Richard Brown. I'm from Lynch, Kentucky. I was born in February 18, 1947. Okay, first I'm going to start about the school. When we had the colored school, Lynch Colored School was named our school, and the white school was up in number 5. And of course it was all black. And you had to be 6 years old before you go to school like most everywhere. And in the community, everybody know everybody. And when I went to school, started school, my birthday was in February, and you had to be 6 years old to go to first grade. So I was 5 and was going to be 6 in February. So I went to school. I stayed there a couple of weeks. They sent me back home and said I have to be 6. So then I went back the next year. I was 6 and a half going to school. So the first grade teacher, which his name was Miss Sweat, and she taught my mom in school too. So then so when I came, I was left-handed, and being I came from a big family, it was 14 of us, and mostly every family had big families in it. They kind of looked down on you or treated you a little different from other kids because we didn't have much. And, out of 14, you might have one or two good students, one ain't so good. So they kind of mark you as you dumb. You don't know nothing. You won't learn nothing. So in my first year, I was left-handed, and the teacher would beat me every day on my hand to make me right hand. Now, while she was beating me those times, she must have beat me about a month, and I still didn't get it while she was beating me. I could just remember saying, put that pencil in the other hand. But if you're left-handed, you're naturally going to go. So I came home one day, and my mom said, why is your hand swelled up like that every day? Are you being bad in school? I said, no. And then she said, well, you been fighting? I said, no. I said, my teacher beat me every day. She said, well, what? You must be acting. I said, no. She just beat me. So my mom, like me, kind of don't mess with the kids. So she went to the teacher. She lived right across the next street over. And asked her in a little confrontation about beating me like that. And then, so the next day, this was on a Friday, so that Monday when I went to school, she got me in front of the class, and it was 5 rows in the class. She took my seat out of the row and put me up against the wall. And she said, I can remember like yesterday. She said, one monkey don't stop the show. Didn't teach me shit. Taught the rest of the class. I was over there against the wall. Didn't teach me anything. And she said, you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna be nothing, your parents, they ain't nothing. All your mama did was have babies. That's how she talked to a kid, 6 years old. But all the other students, they fine. So, I went to the 2nd grade, and they wouldn't fail you. I went to the 2nd grade, knowing nothing. And every teacher I went, they couldn't understand why I didn't know anything. They can understand you being a little slow, but they didn't know anything. And I went that way, trying to catch up, until I got in the 4th grade. And this teacher, Miss Dallas, she said, and we had lunch hour. We had math right before lunch hour. And she said, I'm going to keep you. She gave a problem on the board. She said, you're not going to go to lunch until you work this problem out. I must have stayed there maybe, I say a month. Not coming home for lunch, trying to work that problem. I mean, she would tell me, and she'd go sit down. Couldn't grasp it. So after about a month, I said I got it. Shocked her to death when I said it. So then she told me to come up to the board and do it, and I did it. And then she said, let me give you another one. And I did it, because I had it. Then she said, you think you can do multiplication? This was a distraction. I said, well, if you give it to me, and I did it. From that day on, I made A's in math. Now, you know that's one of the hardest subjects. I made A's from then to, so then I go to the fifth grade, one of the meanest teachers in the school. And if you ask anybody around here, they'll tell you how mean she was. And she would always talk about the Brown family like dog, and talk about how dumb we was. Y'all ain't this and y'all ain't that. And as a teacher, you should be trying to help. So then, as time went on, I got out of there, and each year I met opposition, each teacher. And then I taught myself how to spell and how to read. Not excellent, but enough to get by. And I had A's in math, had D's, maybe one C and an F. So then I got in the sixth grade. My teacher lived right here, in the sixth grade teacher. And she said to me one day, she said, Richard, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fail you. I'm gonna keep you back. Because you got potential. But you just ain't working hard enough. I thought she was just lying, kidding, but she did. And I wouldn't speak to her for 5 months. Then one day I'm sitting in the class, something hit me. I said, she's trying to help me. Because she said that there's no way that you can make A's in math. And that's one of the hardest subjects. And everybody else is struggling in it. So from that point on, I said to myself, she's trying to help me. Then I started getting better and better and better. And then when I got in, and my principal of the school lived right there. Wouldn't even speak to us. Would not speak to us. So I got better in school, and then my he was the football coach and the basketball coach, and he Mr. Trailer. So he taught us history. He wasn't a bright teacher, but you can tell most athletes are not, you know. So one day he giving out the report cards, and he looking at everybody's cards to see what kind of grades they got. So he gets to mine, and he said, "Wait a minute, you mean to tell me you got an A in math?" I had the same pattern, D and C and F. Then he says to him, in front of the whole class, "You probably, if you can't get your license, try to drive, you probably can't read a road sign. Why are you saying that? What's the purpose of that?" So that went by. So I got to be a freshman. And we had this thing where they used to close the school down from Wednesday to Friday. They had a thing called class tournament. It was 7th grade to the 12th grade, and it was a basketball tournament. And whoever, so the juniors had all the varsity on their team, in their class. So naturally they had won it 2 years in a row. So I was a freshman, and they wanted to vote to break that team up, so the other school class can have a chance. So I had the last vote, and I said no. What did I say that for? They jumped. He had nothing. He didn't have nothing to do with it. And the coach, in front of everybody, told me. He said, "Don't. This is why you don't get the person that can play the best. You get the smartest. You don't get the dumbest. You see how dumb he is? In front of everybody." So then we proceed to play the tournament, and we win. But after that, he comes to me in my face and said, called me how stupid and dumb I was. Why would you do something like that? And I told him, because I think we can win. And he said, boy, don't be so stupid. Get out of my face with that. You know you can't beat them. But we ended up beating them. And then when we were going off the floor, I pointed at him and the coach. What did I do that for? They wanted to hang me. That's one of the few times that he spoke to me. So then the next year, we integrated. And they didn't bring not one black teacher up to the white school. Not one coach, not one black coach. All white. And the teachers, with the white teachers, they wouldn't engage with you. You ask them a question, it'd be like a little quick answer, nothing to help you. And it was obvious. So, and we never had a lot of racial stuff towards us verbally. Because if you said something, we will fight. But one thing, you ain't gonna just say nothing to us and we don't do nothing. So, the coach who was white, there's only 2 players he wanted from down there that he had heard about. And he told me I couldn't come out for the varsity because I was a sophomore and sophomores don't play on the one. I said, well, I have a right to come out. I've always been going to say something. I said, I have a right to come out. Now, when the social club started 49 years ago, this being the 49th year, a group of guys, matter of fact, one of the guys lived the next door over there. He used to live here. He had gone to Cleveland. The group of guys got together and they said, let's see can we get everybody together and just reminisce about old times. So they got the people. They sent out little letters and word of mouth, and we got together and went to Cleveland House. So when we got to, so I said, I'm going. Very first one. And it was in Cleveland, Ohio. And we went to a bar. We had it at a bar. This guy owned the bar. And all the people came. It was maybe 100 people showed up, or maybe a little less. And then when they said, well, let's do this again next year. Well, let's do it somewhere else, in another city. So we did it in another city. And it was bigger. Then the third year, that's when everybody said, well, let's have it in different cities, because we was in all different cities. We was everywhere, Milwaukee, Chicago, Ohio, Cincinnati, everywhere. So they said, let's have each city have their own chapter, and we'll go each year, we'll go year to year. And that's how it started. And it's been lasting ever since then. And we go to different cities every year. I know one time we got together in Chicago, and we go to this hotel downtown, because we always stayed at the best hotel, and we always stayed downtown. And white folks want to know where y'all coming from, you know. So we're in the Hyatt Regency downtown Chicago, and now it's about 3,500 of us. So we go into the hotel, and I go upstairs, and you're looking out. Here come Yogi Bear, played with the manager for the New York Yankees. And he says to me, what is all these people? Where they come from? What's going on? And I explained to him about the reunion. He said, man, he was just so impressed. He said, I wish we could do something like this here. You don't see this like this. He said, I see everybody hugging each other and everybody talking. And I told him we was all from the same hometown, and I told him what it was. That's one of the most memorable. And then one year we had Alice Hazel come and speak at one of our reunions. And another memory part was we was in, I forgot where we were. We was in Ohio somewhere. It might have been, I think we was in Ohio. And we got a letter, the governor of Kansas contacted the social members of the social club and wanted us to come there so we can host it. Because we generate millions of dollars. All them people coming, $3,500, and they making money. So he wanted us to come there, but we never went to because of that. But those are three memories that stuck in my mind. First thing you got to understand that in this community, it used to be behind her, this street, it used to be 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th Street, 6th Street, all blacks. And across over that mountain over there, what they used to call it number 3, another black. Everybody knew everybody. And at one time, it used to be 19,000 people here. So every black knew every black. And if you was walking down the street, people would know who you are. And if you did something bad, they'll whoop your ass and you come back home and get another one. But then the reason we always been close, because every family know every family. And that's how the Kentucky Club has been so successful, because we know each other. And back in the day, if your father had gotten laid off from the mine, they would put you out. But then somebody would take you in and feed you and to help take care of you until you can. That's how close it was. And that's how it grew the way it is now. But it's been a lot of people that have died off. And it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And like after the first 5 or 6 years, we used to have like 3,500, 2,500, 3,000 people show up every year. But since people have died out and the young folks are not involved like it was back then, it's less and less. We might get 800, 900 now. And then another thing that it did, it kept us close, because people would go away and wouldn't come back, and you wouldn't see them for years and years and years. But since we had a reunion, we see them every year now, once a year, and it made families see their families all the time. So that was one of the good things about it. See, I know my father told me one time in the mine, they had to fill up so many coal trucks, and then and they would get so much extra for it. And he said them white guys would come along and take them and say it was theirs. They had to take a lot of stuff dealing with these people. And it wasn't no relation. They stayed in their spot, we stayed in ours. And we didn't, every once in a while you might see somebody mingle. I remember one white family lived over on 1st Street over there. He always wanted to be with blacks. That was, you would see, that was the only one that you would see always around us. But as far as just mingling, no. And sometimes you would see them at the park, we would play against them, but they didn't want to play because, we kick you behind, they didn't want to play. But we didn't have no interaction with them at all, none. And the same thing with the U.S. Steel. You just come to work and you work for me and make me some money. I don't want nothing else you said. And then they had, did you see that big the store up there? They showed you the store? You didn't get cash for your pay. You got to call it strip. And make you have to come up there and shop. And that's what they did. Now, you could go shop everywhere, but you had to use a strip still. I don't remember anybody getting around until later. Then they started paying cash. But from the get-go, my dad, it was strip. Yeah. No, my father worked, he worked like regular 8 hours. Some of them worked 9, but he was just about everybody in the camp. Father would drink on the weekend, argue with their wives, threaten. Just about everybody. My father was one of those too. And he would always, on the weekend, get drunk, come on, argue with my mom, pull his little knife out, have his gun, and every man had a gun. Packing, carry. Some had two. And my father was quiet, and you didn't talk back to your dad. I was the only one that would say something or question him. Be mad if I said, want to kill me. But then one day, when he would argue with my mom, they would come get me. I'm 16 years old now, and I'm taller than my dad. And he would continue to argue with mom, threatening what he gonna do. And I said to him, one day he said, what are you, a bodyguard or something? Because I was standing right, not between them, but on the side. My mom would be here. What are you, a bodyguard or something? I didn't say nothing because you didn't talk back to your dad. So then he said, if I put my hand on your mom, what you gonna do? I looked at him right now. I said, you put your hand on in front of me, ain't no telling what I'm gonna do. His eyes got red. So then he went back up the street, that house right there, 12 o'clock at night. Got him more drinks, came back home, went to bed. He never did that, go straight to bed. He gonna argue first. But he had got his argument off the beginning. So 3:30 in the morning, he came upstairs. He had never been upstairs but one time when we moved in his house. One time. Came upstairs, put a gun in my head, just like this. He said, you say one word, I'll blow your damn head off. I said, no kids, none of my kids talk back to me. Talking about what you gonna do. So I looked in, I didn't get scared, I wasn't nervous, man. I looked in the chamber, see what's in the bullets in there, loaded. So he continued to say what he had to say. Now he got the gun. He wouldn't turn around and go down the steps. He backed all the way up till he got down the step, then he went down. So he told all the men in the neighborhood, I got 14 kids. And every time I came home, one of the men would say, you know what your dad told me? That he got 14 kids, you got one to kill him over his mom. And he said he had to watch you. But I ain't gonna let you bother my mom, but I ain't gonna fight my dad. But I'm just gonna not let you do that. I ain't gonna, And he didn't like it because I was taller than him. And he had to, he would never look at me in my face. He would always look to the side or something like that. Yeah, but he was quiet. And then after I got older, I said to myself, I don't understand why Daddy drank. They had nowhere to go. 14 kids, dealing with these white people. And I said, I understand. Because I know if I had nowhere to go and nothing to get. So, this is when we started getting along. Because he had a quick temper, I had one. So I went down to my aunt's house. And when she get mad at me, she called me Mr. Richard. So we got in a little conversation down there at her house. She lived in Cumberland. And I would tell her stuff, what she did and how she was. And I told you mean as hell. Now I'm grown now. And she said, okay, Mr. Richard. And after I explained that thing, she calmed down. And she went and got a picture. And she said, who is this right here? I said, shoot, it looked like me. But it ain't none of me. She said, this your dad. When he was 19. We looked just alike. So I said, can I have that picture? She said, yeah, you can have it. My father was sitting right here when I came home, back from down there. I said, now I know why we don't get along so good. He said, what you talking about, boy? Because he always said I was crazy. What are you talking about now? I said, you see this picture here? I remind you of you. That's why you don't get along. From that day on, he's my best friend until he died. I took him back home to Alabama. I took him all to Buffalo. I took him to New York. I took him all, and we were just like that from that point on. And like I said, I was the only one that would talk back to him. And tell him that don't make no sense to me. He would tell certain things that don't make sense. I said, I'm not doing that. and he just say he couldn't do nothing with me. And I wouldn't. He told me one time about how to treat a woman. I said I ain't wouldn't treat no woman like that. My other brothers would go along, but I wouldn't. He just didn't couldn't deal with me too much till after that point, and we became best friends. One time he was from Pritchard, Alabama. That's where he grew up. He wasn't born there, but he grew up there. And all of them close by Mobile. They just like Benham and Lynch, just like that's how close they are. So I was taking him home one day. Him and my aunt, his sister, they hadn't been in Alabama in I don't know how long. And their sister lived down there. She would always come up here because they had nowhere to go. So I took them down there and they was telling me how to go. Well, Richard, you have to take Route 5. I said, ain't no damn Route 5 no more. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And my aunt would say, Major, don't say nothing to him. You think he know everything, you can't tell that boy nothing. So we going down there. I said, I tell you what y'all do. Y'all sit back in the back, have a little conversation, look around, and see and stuff you remember. But I got this. I took them right there to the house. It was 95 degrees. Hot as hell. So they wouldn't get out the car. They said, you don't know what you're talking about? You don't know where you're going? This ain't Rose. Her name ain't Rose. They called her Rose. Said, this ain't none of Rose's house. I said, tell you what, y'all stay out here. I'm going on in the house. So me and Rose, I said, your sisters and brothers out there. Me and her and her talking. She said, what they doing out there? Because they told me this ain't none of your house. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. So she went out there and got him. He said, and my dad said, I'll be damned. And then that was the end of that. But that's just the way it was. So. My hope is for them to fix up all these houses and bring something in here that can generate jobs for these young kids, the ones that won't leave. And I don't understand why they stay. But just put some kind of factory or something in there. That's my hope, to build it back up. Because if you go to most results, look just like this. Looks just like this. And rich white people, that's where they go. They go to something like this, quiet, beautiful scenery. You can't beat this. I've been to a lot of places. You can't beat this. You can't beat this scenery. And it's nice and it's safe. It's plenty of drugs and stuff around here now, but it's still safe. That's my hope for to build it back up, not to let it die out. And it's on its way. Because each year you see it. You see it. This street right here, during Memorial Day weekend, you couldn't get up and down the street. If you was in your car, it would take you like an hour, 2 hours, just to get to the bottom. Because everybody talking, everybody greeting everybody hugging everybody. And you just had to wait, and nobody got mad. You didn't hear no horns blowing, nothing. And the only one that would get jealous is just say if you wasn't here and you married somebody here, you see everybody hugging, you'd get jealous about that because they say, who's that you hugging on? That kind. But that's the way it was. Well, I want you to understand. I never get it. And you don't catch some of it yourself. While you came here, the love is still here. The love of the people. And how I love the way just like any stranger come here, they'll treat you like you one of us. And they'll do for you, feed you, do anything. They don't know where to stay, they'll let you stay. And I just hope that it's maintained through the new generation that's come up. Because they are totally different than where I am. They don't help each other like we did. They're just different. And it's all because of the video game and don't want to work and was handing stuff to them. But I just hope it gets back to that part never die about caring about each other and doing for each other. And the community stay up and it's going down, 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 down.